Welcome back to Ta-da 3D printing. I showed a preview of this print on the YouTube Shorts. This is the Melting Snowman by Fadsil. There was no print profile when I downloaded this. This is actually one I uploaded, but I did notice in the comments that there was a couple of details about the very bottom of the print or the design of the file was a little funny. So when I download it, I do want to keep that in mind. Maybe that's something that I can just slice off. Okay, so I opened this up and it does pull in as just a single color because it is just an STL that was available. So I go through and change my colors to the setup of what I have on my AMS. It seems like if I just put those in the correct order, that helps me not mix up which colors are which. So I do this first, and then I can go through and paint the file to have the correct colors. The painting is really easy to do, but I do want to make sure that those buttons, not only am I getting the top of the buttons, but I'm also getting the sides. Although I will say I wish that I could zoom in this paint selections. I do feel like I have to kind of go back out of the paint in order to zoom back in and then go back into it again in order to get the right angle and be able to get the sides of these buttons. I was looking to see if there was any weirdness on the first layer like I saw in the comments, and I don't see anything. Everything looks really smooth. So I'm going to slice it and see if anything changes after that. So I do see on the top layer that there's some very obvious layers, which I think will look fine. It'll just kind of look like layers of snow. But when I flip it around on the bottom, I do see there that it's kind of hanging in space a little bit. And of course, that bridging is not gonna work, or it might work, but it might not look very good. So I'm gonna just slice off the very bottom layers of this and see if I can just get it a little bit smoother. This takes me a few times to get it right because each time that I slice it, it looks fine until I go to the slice plate and then I still see a little bit of an overhang. And each time that I go through and slice it, I am messing up my colors, which is kind of annoying. I have to go back in and paint them again. So once I realize that, I just work on getting the plate correct, and then I can go back through and repaint it again. And that is one reason that I go through, and once I'm done with this, I upload the profile back to Bambu Maker World, Makerspace, whatever it's called, because I don't want anybody else to have to deal with this same thing. So now when you go there, you can see my print profile that already is colored and already has the first layer good. So I get this printing. It takes about 2 hours. It prints very smoothly. So let's see how it turned out. Okay, it's quite a bit smaller than I was expecting. I don't know why I was thinking it would take up almost the whole bed, but it's still a really cool print. And I think next time I would probably do a different pattern on the top or maybe do ironing. I'm not sure, just something to kind of, I don't know if concentric would look better, just to give it a little bit smoother finish on the top. Or I guess if I did lower layer heights, that would work too. But the first layer is really nice and pretty, and I think this turned out really good. So it makes me want to try it on another machine. I really would like to print a gigantic one on the Prusa XL. I can't get the 3MF file to load into Prusa Slicer, but I'm able to load the STL, and I'm hopeful that I can do the same thing where I just go in and paint all of the different pieces just like I did in Bambu Studio. So I get the base color white, and because I just wanted it to visually look good, I do change the color from pink to black. That's going to be the buttons. But I have a hard time selecting the eyes. It doesn't seem like it wants to autofill with this smart infill. Um, it just doesn't seem like it selects it. And again, I wish that I could zoom in on this paint feature as well. I always try and I realize I'm just like pulling the funny corner of it. And I am making sure that I am clicking the right button. It's the right click on my mouse and it just doesn't seem to want to work. It looks like something about the geometric of the face. The hat works fine and automatically, all of the different edges seem to pull in. And the buttons work fine on the top. but I cannot seem to get the eyes to work. So I thought, fine, I'll just do it the opposite way. Rather than everything being white to start, I'll switch to the extruder 2 to make it black to start. And I'm kind of surprised that even though I do change the default, it's not changing it on here. I needed to change something else, I guess. The top would lets me go back to white, and that works fine, but I can't seem to get the face to turn white. This kind of blob surface half sphere thing just does not, it's almost like it's just got too many faces to it. I can't quite catch something that's going to let me do the entire face. So I switch over to the brush and I'm able to get a little bit of the surface to highlight that it will actually change the color white, but it's not real consistent. It seems like it just really doesn't like the geometry of this snowman face. So I think fine, maybe white was better. Maybe I can try the black eyes a little bit different way. And I keep fighting with it for a while, but I don't seem to ever get it. It doesn't seem like even if I change the brush to be smaller that helps. Um, It just, even the sides, I'm having a really hard time of the buttons to make those turn black. No matter, it seems like however I catch the edge of this, it doesn't seem, and I can circle around a little bit, but it doesn't seem like it wants to let me zoom in. So I start trying to just change the angle a little bit on how I'm looking at it, and that does seem to help a little bit. I'm able to finally get the right eye to turn black. I have to do this in a couple of different steps, but I do finally get that one. But I cannot get this left eye. Every time I do it, it wants to drag it onto the face, and then I can do a little bit of white and try to block it off, but it's just not smooth. And the STL did not let me pull it into parts as far as I could tell. So if anybody has any suggestions, I would love to print this bigger. Let me know in the comments how you would paint this without it being too difficult, too detailed. I may just snip off the top and redesign it in Tinkercad. I'll just have to see. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching.